And we are live, and behind that picture, there are two people. I wonder who they are. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, friends, Romans, and countrymen, lend me both your ears. You are now live with the George Espenlaub Show. Coming to you from the Funny Farm, like always, no different. We're live from the Funny Farm in a place called Our World. And in our world, it's a whole lot safer than it is in yours. We're delighted that you're with us tonight, whether you're down the street, around the corner, across America, or somewhere around this great big world. We thank you for taking the time to be coming in with us. And everybody come on in to, I call it the chat room. Don't be afraid. Come on in. Leave your comments. If you have any questions for Anthony tonight, he'll be more than happy to answer them. We're live streaming into the George Espenlaub Show page on Facebook, and we are live streaming into Twitter. I almost said up to Twitter. I don't know where Twitter's at. Up, down, sideways. Anyhow, we're streaming live into Twitter. So, for all of our friends that's watching Twitter, come on in. For all of our friends here, come on in and be part of the conversation. And these two characters right here on the screen, number one, that guy that's taller than everybody else, his name is Mr. Neil Haley out of Pittsburgh. And that guy that's standing beside him, the little guy, that's Anthony Griggs, former linebacker in the NFL. Excuse me, in the NFL. I'm fighting this cold. Former linebacker in the NFL, a wonderful person, a friend, and he'll soon be your friend too. So, with no further ado, let's welcome. Hi, Anthony.
Hey, George, what's going on?
Oh, it's good to have you, bud. It really is.
I am so tickled pink to just have, well, I don't know if I'm tickled pink, but I'm happy to be here with you, George. Okay, finally, I get the chance to be on the George Show, the
Yeah.
George Espenlaub Show. This is great.
Hey, my wife, before we went on the air, before I came and got settled in, she said, are you having Andy on tonight? I said, not Andy, Anthony. And she said, yeah. Are you having Anthony on tonight? I said, yes. She said, he is always happy. And I said, isn't that wonderful? So, yes, you've already left an impression on my mom Espenlaub.
I appreciate it. No, I like to be around people. I enjoy people that I meet, and they have a good spirit. You have a great spirit about yourself. Um, I just enjoy the people that I've met, and I just get a chance to make more friends right now as I'm on here on your show right now. This is going to be great.
Miss Cassandra, she's from down there in Arkansas. We're doing just fine, Cassandra, and we had a fantabulous. That's an Espenlaub word. We had a fantabulous day. Anthony and I were on the phone. I don't know 5 or 6 times today. We're worse than the ladies' quilting party, I guess. But nonetheless, we had a good day, and we're having a very pleasant evening. I hope you are too, Sandra. Anthony, my oh my, tell us something about you. Where you came from and what you did and all that good stuff.
Well, I'm in Pittsburgh right now. Let's start right there. I'll work you back a little bit. I'm in Pittsburgh, been in Pittsburgh for over 20 years, but it all started when I was born in Lawton, Oklahoma. That's right, Lawton, Oklahoma. And not a lot of people know where Lawton, Oklahoma is because I did not know where Lawton, Oklahoma was. But born in Lawton, Oklahoma, my father was in the service. There's a base there, Army base there. And we ended up at Fort Dix, New Jersey. And it was fun. It was fun at Fort Dix. But then we moved to Willingboro, New Jersey. And that's where I settled and got my education and finished high school there at John F. Kennedy. And then from John F. Kennedy, went to Villanova. Was at Villanova for 3 years. They dropped the football program. I played football for my last year of eligibility. I went to Ohio State. I loved it. Ohio State, the Ohio State, was there for 1 year, played, got drafted by the Philadephia Eagles. And that's a whole nother funny story because people think, oh man, you must have been something because you played the NFL or no. I got to tell you the story to really make you understand or appreciate that it doesn't happen that way. And then I played with the Philadephia Eagles for 4 years and played with the Cleveland Browns for 3 years. And I got a chance to meet Bill Cowher when I was playing for the Philadephia Eagles, and he got the head coaching job here. And when he got the head coaching job here, there was a new position open up called player development. And here I am still in Pittsburgh, but I haven't been with the Steelers since 2005. So I'm still here. And it's been great. Pittsburgh is a wonderful city. If people have come here, gone through it, come here to live, great place to raise a family, great place to get lost, going over a bridge, going up a hill, going down a hill, a lot of things. But I enjoy it. I really do. It's been great.
A lot of bridges and a lot of hills. Uh, and if people have never been to Pittsburgh, to me, being an old Pennsylvania boy and not far from Pittsburgh, that going up to Mount Washington, and then you get to overlook the city. Oh, that's one of the most beautiful sights you'll ever see. Do you agree?
Oh yeah, oh yeah, and there's many sites like that. It's not just Mount Washington. There's the West End. There is the top of the Steel Building. There's you have the hills, so you're going to have a good view on a lot of them. You get on the bridge, take some pictures from the bridge. There's a lot of hidden sites, and I'm not a native from here, so I don't know them all. But it's a great place to explore. A lot of good things going on in the communities. A lot of good food here. Oh my goodness, I love it when they have the festivals. Okay, Italian festival, Greek festival, okay, Polish festival. I'm right there in the center of it. I love it. So if you have festivals anywhere near me, I want to know about it. I try to get to Cleveland, where I play. That's about 2 hours from here. Philadelphia is about 5 hours, 4 hours from here. I get back home as much as I can. I say home, meaning Williamboro, New Jersey. Still have some good friends there. It's been great. Cassandra, I see you say I love Pittsburgh when I went there. Okay, how long has it been since you've been here? You got to come back. Don't make it a went. You love Pittsburgh to go there. Okay, next time you do, make sure you give us some notice and tell me your favorite place in Pittsburgh. Okay, because I want to still discover it. It's been great. And now I get a chance to meet Mr. George. Mr. George, it's a long story. If you saw the picture in the beginning, I got a chance to meet Neil. He was tutoring my son. He's a professional athlete, a former professional athlete himself, being a wrestler. That's right, World Wrestling Federation. Okay, and he's a tall guy. I'm 6'3". He's like 6'7", maybe, or 7'6". I don't know. But he was tutoring my son, and he put George and I together, and the rest they say is history. History.
That picture of you and Neil, Anthony, is and I don't know, but get on him and tell him to show you the pictures of him and I. Now, there's not a whole lot of difference between you and Neil, although he towers over everybody. But just imagine me. I like come up to his waist, and a lady took our picture in Rehoboth, about 30 minutes from here this summer, and she was chuckling, and I was laughing, and Neil, he was giggling. But when we were done, we thanked her, and I said, "He's my dad." So, because he's so big, so get him to show you the pictures. We are the true Mutt and Jeff, guaranteed. Yeah,
Jeff, Mutt and Jeff. Oh, he's a great guy. Great guy.
I see you got some friends here. How about that one?
Let me see who we got here. Oh, my man. Okay, Rob and Dom Petronio. Now there's a guy. Okay, now during the off season, I get a chance to off season of football. People get ready for football. A lot of guys train. They get ready, and I got a chance to train some young people the last couple years. And I love the interaction with the people I train, and it's not just the running and jumping and push-ups and exercising. It's actually just the relationships that you have. And I got a chance to train Dom Petronio. Okay. Okay. And his dad, Rob, who has chatted in here, is putting it out there. He's doing well. Dom Petronio, he says hello. Yeah, he says hello, but he had a whole season. I didn't get a chance to see him play. But I would see him a little bit from the pictures they would take. They were fantastic. And I miss those guys. I really do. So I'm glad you got a chance to reach out to me here and reach out to myself and George. And I hope you continue to do that. And I hope that we get a chance to sit down and have a sandwich sometime to, to build our relationship stronger. That's right. The way you build relationships with me to get stronger with me is invite me out for a sandwich or bring me a sandwich. I don't know, whichever you want to do. But good to see you. Good to see you, Rob. And hope the family's doing well. Beautiful family, great people. I keep up on them. They just beautiful, good people.
How about this fella?
Chuck Bushbeck. That's who I was in Philadelphia with the last time. Chuck is doing some good things. We're going to be doing some good things in the future. Chuck is the kicker that we had at Villanova while I was there. Chuck Bushbeck. He ended up going to East Carolina, I believe. Am I right, Chuck? Just correct me if I'm wrong. I'm at that age. Sometimes I could be wrong, but I believe I'm right. But Chuck is doing some great things now in Philadelphia. We were just on 610 ESPN radio at the Quakertown Farmers Market. Great crowd, great people, Philadelphia fans. Oh my goodness. So I'm looking forward to going back there, and whatever Chuck has lined up, I'm looking forward to meeting more and more people, some good people. So Chuck Bushbeck, I mean, there's a guy that I have. We played football about 40 something years ago. Has it been that long, Chuck? Maybe 40 years ago. Okay. But it's been a long time. And when you have those kind of relationships that you see him now and you instantly remember the relationship you have, and it just continues and it just continues. And I have people like that. I have a friend of mine that's in Williamboro, Eddie, Uncle Eddie, okay, to my kids. I've known him since I was 6. He's like my brother. I don't have a natural brother, an eternal brother or anything, but he's my brother, and Bill Price. Those are the guys. Those are my guys. I can't even say enough. Those are the guys that if something happens to me, I tell them all the time, make sure you do an investigation. those are my friends. Do an investigation. It looks kind of sketchy.
Make sure you turn over every stone. Yeah.
I'm telling you now, George.
Okay.
If you find me under a bed with my hands tied behind my back and a note in my mouth, and they say it was a suicide note, do an investigation. Okay.
Okay. I got
Promise me.
I
Promise me, George. Okay.
I promise you, Anthony. I really do. I promise you. When you went from was it Lawton?
Lawton, Oklahoma. Mm-hmm.
When you left there, how old were you?
Oh, I was so young. I don't remember even leaving. I was probably 3, 2. We lived in Europe for a while, Germany, France, during those young years. It was a great experience, if I could remember it. But it was good. It was really good. We had some great parents from from Danville, Virginia. They were from the country of Danville, country folks. And so and I got to the point where I was playing college ball and playing professional ball. Very proud parents, as every parent is, as I am now, as parents, seeing your kids do something they like to do or succeeding at something they've been doing. So they're both have passed away since, but it's still memories. It's still the memories, and that's what really counts, and it still guides me in a lot of ways.
As a young man, and an older gentleman told me one time, he said, George, you remember this. The only thing that you do in life is you build memories.
Mm-hmm.
So make sure that you build good ones.
Yeah.
because
That is great advice.
because if you build bad ones, people will remember that too. So build good ones, and I've never forgotten that. Never. When you tell us that little story that you mentioned in the beginning, if you don't mind, when you played for the Ohio State, uh, and you were
Dun, dun,
and you
dun, 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 dun.
that struck a nerve.
Send the earth reverberating with the mighty cheer.
I'll
But
tell
go
you,
ahead, George.
Ed Temple would love you because he is a rabid uh, Ohio State fan. He lives in Columbus, uh,
Oh, okay,
and he teaches there at a Christian school. You and
okay.
him will get along very well. You can sing together and everything. Uh, uh,
I'd love to meet him. Love to meet him.
when you said that you got drafted by the Eagles, and that was what,
Hmm.
1982, 83,
Correct, 1982.
82. Uh, so what was it like? I mean, you're a young man just out of college, and here's the draft, and wow.
Yeah, it wasn't all as wow as people make it out to be. When you see the draft now and people are having the custom made suits on and the draft parties and they're all sitting around the table, mom's got her hair done and all everything. It really, mine wasn't that. Mine was, I'll start in high school. We only had 5 games because we had a teacher's strike. I got a chance to go to Villanova, or I was going to go to another school, and I chose Villanova. I liked the colors, and it was close to home, and I'd never been away from home, so I choose there. And then they dropped the football program in my junior year. We were going into my senior year. In the middle of spring ball, they decided to get rid of the football program to save money, budgeting cuts, got rid of the program. Okay, no problem, understood. My football career was over as far as I was concerned. It was fun. And now I get a chance just to graduate and just finish up college as a student. Well, they had a whole lot of other coaches and other schools there the time that they announced it. At that time, the next morning, and the president announced it, they had some coaches there. And one of the coaches was Nick Saban. Nick Saban is the head coach of Alabama right now. But back then, he was the defensive back coach of Ohio State. And he was in a room where they said, Anthony, a guy from Ohio State's here. I'd like to talk to you. And I'm like, talk to me about what? Oh, he would like for you to, you just talk to him. I went in there and Nick Saban was there, nice, shiny Ohio State ring on his finger. And hey, Anthony Griggs, we'd like to have you consider coming to Ohio State to finish out 1 year of eligibility. I was like, what? Yeah, okay. I went. Now, I'm going to tell you, and I don't have to probably, maybe I do have to tell people this. There's a big difference between the facilities at Ohio State and Villanova. God bless Villanova. They did what we used it. We did what we could. Okay. They dropped the program because they didn't have enough money. Ohio State will never, ever drop the program. Okay. They had 2 separate locker rooms. It was great. So I'm playing. Now I said I'm playing, but I'm playing on special teams. Ohio State had a team there before they had Anthony Griggs. They weren't trying to catch me to make them like national champion, whatever. They were already ranked number 3 in the nation before I got there. So I was playing on special teams, and I got in the last 2 games of the season because a guy went down and he got hurt. Now I'm playing the last 2 games. And then it was over. The season was over. I didn't get no accolades or anything, no All American, no All Big Ten. It was over. So I was like, okay, that was fun. Again, like I was at Villanova, it was fun. It's over. Okay. But then a coach, when I last had the last big meeting with the team, he said, we're going to have our pro day on such and such a day. So I went to pro day. So pro day comes, and a friend of mine says, why don't you go over there and just run? They run seniors. They have the senior. You're a senior, and you can go over there and run. So I went over to the field house, and I opened the door, and I met by one of my coaches who had coached our team, like the defensive back, not the defensive back coach, the running back coach. And he goes, hey, AG, good to see you, man. Hey, how you been? Hey, what are you doing here? I said, I'm a senior. Aren't they allowing the seniors to run today? He goes, oh, they're allowing all of the All-Americans that we have on our team, the 3 or 4 that they have here, they can run, but it's not just open to any senior.
Mm.
And I never knew what a pro day was except when Earl Bruce said it. So I was like, oh, okay. Okay. He goes, well, you can watch. Okay. So then another coach comes over and try to get the first coach because they're about to start. And he goes, hey, let's get ready to start. And he looks at me and he goes, hey, AG, what is it? And he looks at the first coach. What's AG doing here? And the first coach goes, oh, he was here because he thought it was for the seniors to run. And he just came over because I told him it is just for all Americans. The second coach goes, oh, well, he's here. If he wants to run, he can run. And I was like, no, I'm kind of embarrassed. I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm good. I'm good. He goes, no, you can do it. I'm okay. He asked me about 3 or 4 times until I finally go, okay. Then he turns around to the scouts that are there who are very time conscious and goes, hey, can I have your attention, please? We're going to add another guy on the list, Anthony Griggs. And all the scouts are like looking at it, like, who's this guy? Who's this guy, Anthony Griggs? So that's my draft party if I have one. And then I ran. And so I'm living in the dorms. I'm the only senior living in the dorms at Ohio State. I didn't care. My roommate was an entomologist major. He had like insect vertebrae posters on the wall and stuff. It was everybody was like, how are you living with him? I'm fine. It was okay. So I run, and then the scouts are like, hey, you ran pretty well. Did you play? I said, well, I played the last 2 games. So we didn't see you last year. I wasn't here last year. Oh, where'd you come from? Oh, I came from Villanova. I'm one of the transfers because we had 4, but the other 3 were like underclassmen, sophomores. And they go, oh, okay, well, can we get a hold of you somehow? Yeah. What's your agent's name? I'm like, agent? You're looking at me. I'm it. I'm everything. They go, okay. So then draft day comes, and that's a month or 2 months away. And I'm not having no draft party. I'm going to class. Next thing I know, I come back from class to my entomologist major roommate, and he said, oh, Anthony, he had like a little southern drawl too. He goes, Anthony, Mr. Dick Vermeil or somebody called, said they're going to draft you or something. I'm like, who? Somebody from the Eagles, I think, a Bird Eagles. Some said, okay. So then I get a call back. It's Dick Vermeil from the Philadephia Eagles. Hey, Anthony, we're going to draft you in the 4th round. How do you feel about that? You want to be an Eagle? Now, I'm from South Jersey, where Philadephia Eagles is a big deal, being the Philadephia Eagles and all that. I'm like, yeah, sure. I'm thinking it's a joke. Yeah, okay. Draft me. Okay. Bye-bye. Click. He calls me back up in 15 minutes later because I'm not watching the draft. Why am I watching the draft? I'm Anthony Griggs. I just transferred. I didn't do anything but run a 40. Okay. I get a call back. Anthony, you're an Eagle. Congratulations. This is Dick Vermeil. I'm like, oh, okay. Dick Vermeil. He goes, yeah, this is head coach Dick Vermeil for the Philadephia Eagles. We're going to fly you into town tomorrow, and our secretary is going to give you a call. We're going to get all the draft choices here tomorrow. I'm like, okay. He says, call this number back when you get a chance. Please, as soon as you can. I call back. It's the secretary. Are you Anthony Griggs? Yes. We got a plane reservation for you tomorrow to be leaving at da-da-da. I'm like, wait a second. What is this for? You were just drafted by the Philadephia Eagles. Oh, okay. Get off the phone. I call my mother up. Mom, I'm coming home tomorrow. What are you coming home for? What happened up there? No. I got drafted by the Philadephia Eagles. She's like, oh, okay. You got drafted by the Philadephia Eagles, and you're going to be home tomorrow doing what? Well, they're flying home. So in any case, I get home. She's like, what are you doing here? I told you. So that's how it happened. And I'm sitting up there with all the other draft choices on that day that they announced us that next day after the draft. 1st round, 2nd round, 3rd round, me, 5th round, 6th round. They had 12 rounds back then. And all the guys are looking at me going, who is this guy? They're like, excuse me, what's your name? I said, Anthony Griggs. I said, we didn't see you at any of the All-American dinners. I wasn't at any dinners. Oh, were you at the All Big Ten championship? Were you at the All Big Ten dinner? You made All Big Ten, didn't you? No. See, I came in from Villanova. They dropped the football program, and I was on special teams here until the last 2 games of the season, and I ran a 40 over at the field house, and I ran for some scouts of the Eagles, and that's why I'm here. Can you pass the ketchup, please? So that was it. It was fun. It was a great, and so for me, I didn't like play with a chip on my shoulder. I always played like I was very, very appreciative of it. Dick Vermeil, it was his last year there. I go into the meeting. He was very emotional, talking about the guys who had given given as much as they could on the field for the Philadelphia Eagles. It was really a good experience. I go to the Cleveland Browns. Now we had a strike my first year. We get the Philadelphia Eagles. I had a strike in the NFL. I get traded to Cleveland. I get another strike. That's my second strike. Okay, in the NFL, I had a strike. And then that day that I got traded to Cleveland, I was doing a talk at a radio station, I believe. And then after the radio station in the afternoon, I went and I got something to eat by myself, like at a place you sit down and get a sandwich. And I was looking up on the TV, and they go, "Let's recap that trade of Anthony Griggs to Cleveland Browns." I'm like, "Did they just say Anthony Griggs?" And I say, "Excuse me, did they say Anthony Griggs on the TV?" Go, "Yeah, they did. I think they traded him to Cleveland." I'm like, "Oh, that's me. That's me. I'm traded." I didn't say it out loud. I just said it to my head. Can I have a check, please? So I leave, and then I get to Cleveland, and Bill Cowher's there. He's coaching special teams. Okay. Now, prior to that year, 2 years prior to that, Bill and I were on the same special team in Philadelphia, and we were on the same kickoff return team. And I missed a block on the kickoff return team, and that ended Bill's career. He never touched the field after that. The guy that I was supposed to block actually hit him in the knee, and that was the end of it. So he's coaching special teams in Cleveland when I get there, and he's talking about, as a special team goes on, he's talking about kickoff return team. And you got to make sure you get this block, don't you, Griggs? I'm like, "What do you mean?" He goes, "You know what I mean." He's talking in front of everybody there, in front of the whole special teams. And he goes, "Let me get the lights for me. Let me tell you why I got into coaching, folks. You know why I got into coaching? Because I couldn't play anymore. You know why I couldn't play anymore? Because my knee was messed up. You know why my knee got messed up? Because Griggs didn't get his block, and that's what the guy ran into me. And that's what got me out of football." And I stood up and I said, "Well, Coach, if you want to be honest, I'm the guy that really got you into coaching, if you want to look at it that way." So that was my story. And so he still hired me here at the Pittsburgh Steelers. And so now you know the rest of the story, as someone wise and famous would have said. Now you know the rest of the story of Anthony Griggs. Not all polished and everything else. It's just a great ride.
Everything took you by surprise. I think that's cool. I like that. I really do.
You know what? Life is going to take you by surprise sometimes. And you just got to be not ready for it. You got to be ready for yourself to just be able to mold it into a situation. You're going to get through it. You'll be okay. You'll be through it. It's sometimes I just have fun. So when your wife has said, always happy. No, I have those little pains of things that happen to me as I still am living now. As long as you're living, you're going to have that. But sometimes you can, you don't feel like you're going to get through it, but you will. And so by the grace of God, here I am on
You
your show.
you teach people, and you use sports as an analogy, uh, because sports and life is intertwined. It's not always going to be hip hip hurrah, uh, touchdown, touchdown, touchdown. There are going to be some rough spots, and you teach people. Don't you have like five? Is it there five things that
There's six things that I have come up with that I have found to be essential to a person who is training to be an athlete, is training to be the best they can as an athlete. But I also have analogized these six areas to your life to be the best you can be if you're not an athlete, the best you can be if you're a person who's trying to be whatever trade or whatever job you have. And they go in this order. And I call it life, like you said, life is out there and sports is out there. And I call it life is a sport and you can win it. And life can be a sport. And what I mean by that is that the 6 areas, as I go through them, you may understand, you may not. And those 6 areas are your skill, your endurance, your speed, your conditioning, your diet, and your rest. Okay. And you can take any one of those, and get better at one, two, three, whichever, or take them one at a time and get better. But the first one is your skill. That's the first thing you have to do in any profession, any job, in school. Your skill set is what you're going to be noted for, is what you're going to be um, promoted for, what you're going to be getting the good grades for. Are you learning the skill? Are you able to do it? And so the same thing in sports. You're judged on your skill. Doesn't matter how big and strong, how fast you are. Do you have the skill to do the position? And then you go into your endurance, and it talks about how long you can do that skill over a course of time. Sure, you may get fatigued, but usually if you're competing against somebody, the one that gets fatigued is the one that will lose that particular rep, will not be able to move his body, not be able to move their body or move or do the skill set. So the same thing in a job, the same thing in life. When you're not moving and you have lost your endurance, that's when your skills are going to plummet. You're going to get tired and you won't be doing it that way. So when I talk about these 6 areas, they all have a story how they can relate to sports, but they can relate to just life, just can relate to uh, getting up in the morning and playing the sport you play. We're on the radio now. There's a lot that had to happen for this to have to make this me there and you here. A lot had to be invented. A lot had to be set up, the infrastructure to make it happen. It's like magic to people, but a lot had to happen, and the skills that they had to have to do that. We trust our skills a lot of time with a lot of people, from health concerns to people who are doing your car, people who are maintaining your car. The skill specific measurement of those people, they know something more than you. They can do it better. You might be able to change an oil filter. You might be able to change a belt on your car if you had instructions. But they know some things that are just intrinsic to their experience. Having done it so many times, they can do it. And that's the same thing in sports. So life is a sport. And I go and I talk to colleges, I talk to young people, I talk to churches, I talk to, uh, I guess I talk to anybody who wants to listen. But I enjoy talking about it because it's real, and it's another perspective on life, and it's another perspective on not doing it the way I did it. Not don't do it the way I did it. Do it the way you do it. And that's what it's all about when it comes to life as a sport. Um, your life is a sport, and you can win it. What is winning? When you consider whatever you do, how do you know when you win? How do you keep score? How do you know if you're ahead of the game?
Mm.
See, in football or in sports, you look up the scoreboard. You got more points than the other team. Time's running down. You know the game's going to end at a certain time. You call timeouts. You get a chance to regroup and all that. Life doesn't have that. Doesn't have those features. You don't know when it's going to end. You don't know if you're ahead. You don't know what's going on. So you have to put in these things that you have to strive for, so you can know. And that, for me, that's the thing that when you play sports and you played it for a while, you don't see that those parameters sometimes out there as vividly or as stark as when you see them on a football field. Look up at the clock. You see referees around. They're throwing flags. They're stopping the illegal plays. They're some people doing things at a high rate, and everybody out here is skilled. It may look like somebody's not doing their job and they're getting run over, but everybody out there is skilled. And there's some that are more at this point, at this moment, this snap, this height on this line of scrimmage, this play, he did it better. And so it's execution. And that's what I talk about when it comes down to being the best you can be, the best that you added to a team, the best that they can be. Now you added to a team in a league, the best that that league can be for entertainment. Why do people watch the NFL? They don't just watch football, they watch the NFL. They watch the NFL because of the high skill sets and things you're going to see from catches to throws to runs to hits. That's why. And that's what that's what you know. People don't there's no spectator sport of brain surgery, but you have to be well skilled to be to be a surgeon, to be a doctor. Okay, it's not a spectator sport. And the last thing I say to people is basically because life is a sport and you can win it, you just got to decide if you want to play.
Mm.
You got to decide if you want to play the sport because there's two kinds of people that go to sporting events. Either you are a player or you're a spectator. Now, even if you have the uniform on, get up in the morning, get ready to go, you're going in to work, you've been doing it all these years, all this time, you might you may be a spectator. Because even when I was playing for the Ohio State Buckeyes, when I wasn't on the field as one of the 11, I was a spectator. I was watching the game, watching it happen, watching people make plays, watching people's skills. So the level of what you're training for, what you're doing, whenever your off season is, when is it? What is your skill, your endurance, your speed? How fast can you do your skill? Your conditioning? How much weight can you lift? How many times have you gone through something and battled through it and get and overcome the resistance and get through it and get through it and get through it? And then your diet, what gives you your energy in the morning? What gives you your energy? What do you read? What do you listen to? What do you talk to you? What kind of self-talk do you have with yourself? That's all diet. What do you take in to give you energy? So sometimes it's it's something that I've obviously have talked about and I have lived, but and I tell people this, it's new to them. I don't expect them to take it all in, but just take an idea of what it's all about. And the rest is the last period. The rest. Rest isn't just, oh, I'm not going to do it anymore. Rest is your your recovery. Rest is when you ponder and you get a chance to reflect on what you've done. Rest is when you ponder and reflect on what you want to do. Okay, now that you've done that, you trained and you've done those five before that, now you get a chance to reflect and go, okay, here I go. I know for me, when I was in high school, or even probably before high school, when I was junior, pee wee leagues, and then high school, and then college, uh, the different colleges, and even in the pros, my my mantra is going on my mind is they don't they don't know what I can do. They have no idea what I can do. I came in the league weighing like 218 pounds, playing drafted as an inside linebacker. Really? I don't think you would have that too many times today, but and I survived. My body feels great. I don't I've never had an operation, so I feel good. But it's been a great ride, and the people that I talk to about it, just giving. I'm going to be talking Thursday to young kids at a school in Canton. Um, it's a sport. You just don't know how you're playing it yet. You don't see how it's connected. Oh yeah, but it's a sport. Life is a sport, and you can win it. And why not live the winning life? Why not?
That's right. That's right. Have you ever had, over the years since you've been out of football, have you ever had, y- uh, you were at a meeting, you were speaking to somebody, a group of people, a group of kids, somewhere, someplace, and maybe months or even years later, someone came up to you and said, you know, Mr. Griggs, you didn't know me then, but you said such and such a thing, and that just turned me around, or that always stuck in my cranium, and it's made me different. Has that ever happened to you?
It's it's funny you say that. Um, when I was with the Eagles, I worked in a program called Goals for Youth. I'll never forget it. And it was working with the migrant children, the children of migrant people who were out in the fields picking the produce, because the Garden State, the New Jersey had a lot of fields and a lot of things that had to be picked. So migrants would come and they'd have like a little town, and the children would go to the schools, and they had a program called Goals for Youth. And I worked with the migrant children. And I went to the schools, Oak Crest High School in South Jersey, in Cumberland, I believe it was. And make a long story short, as short as I can make it, so I worked with a number of them, a number of kids, probably like 6 kids that day. Okay, 6 kids, the same 6 kids every week. But there were other kids that were being in periphery. Other kids that would come in, I let them in, come on in, sit down, relax. They come in the study hall, get your work done. Didn't think anything of it. But I'd be talking to them the same way I'd be talking to the other kids. Didn't think anything of it. Talking to them, no, you can, yeah. So what do you think? What do you think? What do you want? What do you want to do? Well, fast forward it to 7 years ago, 30 something years later, 30, 35 years later, whatever. And the advent of Facebook or cell phones or whatever. Make a long story short, young lady found me. Her name was Emma Lopez. Emma Lopez. And she said, I need to talk to you. And I'm like, oh, Emma, good, yeah, okay, hey, it's Emma. I call Emma. I called Emma up. When she told me, it changed my life. It changed what I thought was nothing, or just not nothing, but just that I think had no significance, meant everything to her. She told me that when I was in that room, I didn't, I used to be up on the table sometimes. I was really, you know, I was intimidated by the other students, and you made me feel that I could do stuff. You made me feel that I could attain stuff. I never really told anybody that, but I went to college. I got a degree. I got a master's degree, and now I'm working down in the New Jersey Department of Health. And I know you come back here, but I'd love to see you. You just meant so much to me. That little bit of time that you spend each week, I was looking so forward to that every week. Game changer, my man. That is the Hail Mary. That was the Hail Mary in my book. Because then it was like, what? And I didn't know how to, and I still don't. I had a couple people tell me that, and I still get people on Facebook that tell me that. I'm still in touch with people, and quite frankly, I don't know how to.
Mm-hmm.
I just, God has put me on this earth to do some things, and sometimes I'm not aware of what I'm doing. To be honest with you, and I don't think you are either. But you're touching people's lives. You've been on radio for years, as you said, and you're doing the same thing. And so when I get on here, when I get a chance to shake the hands or get engaged with people, and that's what it is, you engage them. You don't just, hey, how you doing? Hey, bye, hi. Because so many people in the world, that's easy. Go through the door, nothing. You think I'm just holding this door for nothing, huh? I think this is my job. I'm just holding the door for you. All right. You think you're holding the door for me? No, I really appreciate it. Thank you very much. Thank you. And it just does that. That's just the way I am. That's just the way I was raised. That's just the way I see it. That's the way I want my kids to be. Nobody is above and nobody's below you or anybody. As soon as you think in sports, maybe that's that's why I went through it. Well, really? I got drafted. Okay. Okay. The way I got there, the way I got to Ohio State, the way I got to the Eagles. Okay. The way I got to the Browns. Oh, you think you're something now, huh? Well, okay. Let me just show you a little again, just to show you that you're not. So, I admire the people who have the skill. The NFL is what it is. It's great skill sets, and in professional sports, and they do so much. And there's a lot of great things that have been done with it, with breast cancer and the cancers and the military and things they bring to awareness of things and political stances and things like that. But it is about, as you had said earlier, it's about the relationships that you have with people, the engagement of people. How are you? You know, um, when my dash is put on my tombstone, that dash in between when I was born and when I pass away, people will have their own interpretations of the dash
Mm.
that I have. And while I'm here, I'm trying to give it, trying to, and that's what they're going to probably put on my tombstone. Here lies a man who tried. Here lies a man who tried. AG. But getting into that is just it's fun. It's great. I mentioned Emma Lopez because I know what it did for me. I can mention countless people, but I'm not doing it just to have people pat me on the back. What they got to do is they're doing it too. You're doing it too. People just don't know they're doing it. I had the great opportunity to have somebody tell me. People are going to tell you. Maybe people are telling you and not listening, but they're out there. They're right there. They're right there, right in front of you. So that's another part of the success that you can have, is you can get, that you can see that you're attaining it now. Life is a sport, and you can win it.
There is so many people out there, and I've said it over the years. A little pat on the back, a little hug, just time to say more than hi, like you did with that young lady. You made her feel like she could do something. Somebody paid attention, and I liked what you said, Anthony. Uh, I do this, and I don't even know I'm doing this. You're a blessing. You're a blessing. I call it a ministry. Uh,
Wow.
and if people would just touch people, not 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 from head to head, but
Right.
heart to heart. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And people have heard me say it over the years. That maybe they get tired of it, but it's something that I've always said. I always need to say. If I can hear a man or a woman's heartbeat, then I know that they're for real. And if I
Wow.
can hear their heartbeat, and they can hear my heartbeat, and we have an encounter, even if it's but for a few minutes, something down the road will transpire for the good. I might never know it. I might walk away knowing that heart to heart, but I might never know the end result.
That's right.
But someone else will reap the benefits from that person reaching out and touching someone else. Does that all make sense what I'm saying?
It does. It really does. It really does. That is it. You sow seeds. You throw seeds. Okay, throwing seeds, and the biblical analogy was that some falls on the good soil, some fall on rocks, and some are eaten by the birds. But you just keep sowing the seeds. What happens to them is something you can't control. You don't put a seed in the ground and stand over it and yell at it, grow, grow. You just sow seeds, and with the hope, with the picture, with the vision of the nurturing of it will make it what it's supposed to be. And that's all you can do. And that's all you're doing. You're what you're doing right now. Um, you're you're spreading something out there. People hear our voices. If they're looking at us, they see us. But I've always said, what you say, and you hear it from a physics standpoint, or even from a mindfulness point of vibrations. Sound is vibration. And when you speak and it goes in somebody's head and they interpret it and it goes in their head and they can remember how you sounded and how you made them feel when you said it. You don't know.
Mm-hmm.
You just know you said it. That that's a big part of it. It starts here and then it goes out and then it's heard. And that's what you're doing by creating this show. Um, Under a sports a frame that I have, you've allowed me to do that. Sports has been great. Sports is great. Why do I think it's a great thing? Because sports is the one of the only forms of entertainment where it's not pre-orchestrated or it was written to get to try to get an emotion out of you. It's not a song that's trying to make you sad or make you feel happy. It's not a movie that's been written. It's not a Broadway play. It's not a book. Raw emotions. And you're seeing people who really want it, who want to win. And if they can put it like that, what you see on the field of somebody who really wants it that bad, and they're going hard at each other, physical confrontation to stop you from getting what I want or to help you get what I want as a team. Whew, what would they do if they put that same effort or same thought? That's what people can do. That's what fans can do. That's what people do. That's what it is. You are a player. You're doing that. People go to school. Go be a plastic surgeon. Finish up when you're 28 or 29 or 30 or whatever. And you put that time in to be something that not a lot of people want to do. Not a lot of people want to put the time in. They want to do that. They want to reap the benefits of it.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody wants to be on the field playing for the Steelers when the Sunday, but putting the time in and then waiting for the breaks. And are you ready to run when they call your name? Are you ready? That's the only thing I can say to people. Wow, you were fortunate that you ran that. I was just ready. I was just ready. I remember, you know, I could think back to so many times when uh, I was playing Little League on my first day going to Little League practice with my dad, and my dad took me up there, and I was backing up, and I didn't want to go because I didn't want to play football. Those guys are a little bigger and looked bigger and pads, and I didn't want to get hit. Nah, Dad, I'm good. I don't have to play this. No, you said you want to play. It's okay. It's okay. Okay, Mr. Taylor, my first coach, Mr. Taylor, tall guy. He's about 6'6". Smoked a cigar. This is about 72. Come on, Anthony. Tony Griggs. Tony Griggs, he called me. Come on, you'll be all right. We're just gonna do some drills, catching some balls. You can do that, can't you? Yeah, okay. Come on. And it got me from my father, and then that's where it started. But to have those kind of guys and people in your life, and they're all throughout your life. They're steps. They're stepping stones. Um, my company that I'm trying to keep getting and keep grinding at is AG Squared Networks. And AG Squared Networks is a company that does business as stepping towards success. And with the stepping towards success allows me to go out and do speeches, allows me to do clinics. We're putting some things together. For some things are going to be launched and people will hear about them on Facebook and Twitter, but I don't want to go too far into it, but it's going to be helping young people. And so when you do these steps, these stepping towards success, if you look at the sequence of that, stepping toward success, see, stepping it's a balancing thing. Wherever you are, you think you're balanced all the time. You think you're good. I'm good. You sure? Because in order to get to the next place you want to get to, there's a point where you're going to have to be off balance. You're going to have to take a step. And you're going to have to take a step in this direction towards this. It's not just going to be, oh, I'm going to just step in any direction. No, what are you trying to get to? This way. Then step towards this way. Stepping towards success. And when you take a step and you get on this rock, you're going to get balanced up on that rock before you take your next step. And then it's going to be your success. I'm not telling you where to go. at the high school, maybe military, maybe a trade school, maybe a 2-year school, maybe a 4-year school, maybe go into law, maybe go into intern, maybe just get a job and wait and get it all straightened out before you can make that decision. Whatever. So that's the stepping towards success part. As an athlete, you want to be outside the lines. As a regular student, you want to be beyond the classroom. There's great lessons to learn beyond the classroom. And then for me, I can give personal development mentorship with young people. There's a lot that other players can do too, and you can do it. You don't have to be a player in the NFL. You don't have to be a player that played anything. You can just talk to the young people, and it makes a difference. Those high school kids that we all were at one time,
Mm.
as much as you see them being what I call knuckleheads, we all were. We all were knuckleheads. We didn't know anything. Thought we did. We still don't know anything.
When I was 16, I was the smartest that I've ever been in my life, Anthony. From there on,
16.
yeah, when I was 16, I mean, I knew it all. Uh, from there, it's been downhill ever since. Till I got to the point now. The only thing I know is I don't know. Yeah.
The old riddle of life.
Yes.
If I only knew then what I know now.
Yes. And that brings me to this point here. You were so kind to spend some time and talk with my grandson who's in the Marine Corps today on the phone, and I so appreciated that, and I want to say thank you for that. But you said some neat things. Uh, One of those things, and I have been thinking about this all day, Anthony, ever since you said it. I was sitting.
About me and you going to get a sandwich?
No,
Oh,
no.
okay.
Uh, that would be good right about now. I'm telling you.
Nah, go ahead. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
No, no, that's fine. I was sitting right here in this seat right here, and my grandson was sitting right over here beside me when you were talking to him. And I have never in my entire life heard this. Now, the story that you told uh, Jeffrey about the man that was blind. Now, look, I've read that in scripture, I don't know how many times in 71 years. I don't know how many times I've heard it preached from the pulpit. When I was in the ministry, I preached on it.
Hmm.
But you depicted that today that was not only factual, scriptural, but it had a spiritual humor to it that ever since you said that, and that was early this morning, I've been walking around and everything I do, I was thinking about this blind man when you said, he went running to the people and they said, what happened to you? Well, I can see now. Of course, they knew he was blind.
Yeah.
Can you remember how you told him that? Because I'd like the listeners to hear that because there's so much truth in what you said. Could you do that?
Well, to give context to it, Jeff, your grandson, was talking about how he was going to be talking to people and how their reaction was going to be towards him if he was going to go to them. You think that they will? How you think they're going to react towards me, Anthony? How do you think they're going to? I'm just going to be a young guy talking to these people, and why are my peers going to be looking at me any differently and think I know stuff and blah blah blah? The reality of it is we all have peers, and we all can say that. What's going to make somebody really believe me? A lot of times, anything, and so your peers are going to have, and you have the same ones. We all have the same ones of fears and that the trepidation of somebody telling us something, and oh, exercise is good for you. Is it? Yeah, you should do it. This is what you got to do. This is what you got to eat. This is what you got to do for exercise. This is how many you got to do. and this is how many calories you got to take in. Okay, but until you have an experience that you can relate to tell people, I'm just telling you what it's done for me. I'm telling you what it did for me. So the blind knew he was blind. When he when he could see, he knew he could see. When he could see, when he had to, when people were like, what are you hopping and hollering? What is all this about? You don't understand. I can see now. Okay, you can see, but what did he do something to you? Well, what happened? Oh, well, he put some mud in my eyes, and then he put his hand on my eyes, and and then it went. He washed it out, and I could see after that. Yeah, but how much mud did he put in your eyes? And who was this guy? What was his credentials? What, look, I don't know I don't know who this guy was. I don't know what he did. I don't know how he did it. I know this. I'm not an educated man. I'm not a man as you're going to believe. I'm a man who was on the streets begging yesterday. I'm not anybody that you're going to trust. I'm not anybody who you may think is telling you the truth. I'm just somebody who's telling you this. Before that, I couldn't see. And after that, I can. I can see now, right now. I can see you. And that's all I need. That's all I can tell you. That is all I can tell you. And that's all he's going to be able to tell them. You got to live your experiences. Your experiences can tell people things that they want the answers to, but they don't have to ask the questions for it. You don't have to ask the question. You're telling me you can see. Wow, I'm not blind, so he can't help me. No, he can't help you because you can see, but you are blind if you can't see other things that you can't do, or the things you think are inhibiting you, or the things that you're not able to identify in yourself. You are, and we all are. So that's where the relationship and the engagement is all about. Is really you, Jeff, your grandson, who's going to be talking to his peers. What made you? What made you consider doing something? What made you? What did you think about? Because I guarantee, whatever you say, I don't know. I was a little bit squeamish. Yeah. When he said, "Just come here and put some mud on his hand," what are you about to do? What do I got to tell you, or do you trust? Just come here. Come here. That's all you're asking him. Just come here. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you. It may not be for you. It may not be, and you get a lot of that, but you don't know. You don't know. So that's all I was trying to relate to him, was just that you don't know. What do you know? Go with that. Go with what you know it and believe in it. And that will get people to not consider, I wonder if he really believes that. It's going to make people believe this. It's going to make people consider this. Well, what do I believe?
Mm.
I'm looking at this guy. He really believes that. That's why people who really believe something, um, and they tell you, just you can condemn them or what have you, but what do you believe? Okay, you don't like this person in political office. You don't like this person. You don't like this person. Okay, but what do you believe? Who do you like? Anybody? Who do you like? You gotta have something. You don't. I may not agree with you, but who do you like? So that's all. And it was. I say that's all, but I know it's more than that. And sometimes I don't. As you can see, I can be all over, talking about a lot of different things. But sometimes the situations come to me, and things come to me in that way when I relate to it in that way. From where I'm at in my life, and I wasn't always this way. God has saved me. God has put me in a different perspective. Believe me, there's things that are still going on that I could sometimes just wish that I could just be pulled out of it. But the molding of that pot on the potter's wheel is still happening to me.
Yes.
I am just a lump of clay.
Yes.
Just I'm not perfect by any stretch.
My oh my. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I told you he'd be your friend by the time this was all over. Now, listen, before we came live tonight, we made a plan. Uh, Look, you stick around Anthony, oh, probably about 30 seconds. That's all it takes, about 30 seconds. And you are going to get hit with this surge of energy that he has. Like my mom Espenlaub says, that man is always happy. It's contagious. It's going to hit you, and you are going to be uh, like the man that said, "I can run through a troop and jump over a wall," or was it jump run through the wall and jump over the troop? Troop. Either way, you are going to get something done when you talk to this man. You hang out with this man. You get around this man. But we made plans before we come on the air. We're going to do a what was it, Anthony? A walk in the park.
That's right.
Walk and
That's
talk.
right. Walk and talk. The walk and talk. The walk and talk. That's right.
We're gonna do a live stream show, and Anthony's gonna walk and talk, and he's gonna go to the park and different places and interview people, just chat with them, uh, you know, find that heart to heart thing going on, uh, and who knows? But you can look for it. I'll guarantee it. You can look for it, and we'll hopefully we can make it a regular segment, Anthony,
Yeah.
where we do it on a regular basis, and Anthony can walk and talk. So
Loving it. I will hope to meet people there at different places and going to different places and different parks. There's a lot of parks in this country. A lot of uh, federal parks, national parks in small towns. But there's people. There's
mhm,
people everywhere too, and I can walk and talk. You can walk and talk, walk and meet at a local community park. You can walk and talk at inside a supermarket.
that's
You can
right.
walk and talk.
That's
So and you know what is your talk? You know, um, so it's going to be refined, but I'm excited about that. I'm very excited about that because it's going to give me a chance to share who I am and be who I am around people so they can be who they are
that's
and
right.
tell me what they're doing. Tell me how they're doing
And you might even get a sandwich somewhere along the line.
it. I don't mind the peanut butter and jelly. I'll take it. I'll take it. That's
Anthony,
great.
I thank you so much for coming on tonight. I've had a blast, and I'm sure. Now, listen. Here's the magic part. When we go away, this our live will stay up uh, on the pages that it went to, and people will just continue to come and watch it and watch it and watch it and watch it, and
Wow.
we'll get good reports, good reports, good reports, uh, and so it's just it's like the icing on the cake. I had a ball, my brother. I did. I've had a ball every time I've talked to you. I've had a ball. I really have.
You
Uh,
know I did. I
yeah,
won't get into why.
I,
I,
I was
oh,
sitting.
he knows I did.
Yeah,
George is great.
I was sitting here thinking about that, and I did tell Jeffrey that today. I told him the rest of the story, and he was cracking up.
Oh,
But
it is great.
thank you so much, my friend. And of course, we'll be in touch. We're always in touch now, and I
Yes.
appreciate that so very much. So, ladies and gentlemen, oh my, thank you for being with us tonight. You have truly met a man, and you can hear his heartbeat. That's what makes him so special. I hear his heartbeat. He's a thrill to be around. I look forward to more things, and I'm really looking forward to this walk and talk. So if you
There
know
you go.
one that
Yes.
couldn't watch this tonight, you tell them. You get over there on Facebook and you watch this. You'll enjoy it. Sit back, throw your feet up. Don't fall asleep. Well, I don't think you'll be able to fall asleep. No.
It's going to be fun. It's
Yeah.
going to be fun, George. You've been all that. Okay, you're better than a chocolate chip cookie dunked in milk. You're good.
Oh
You're
my.
good, my man.
Thank
If
you very
and if
much.
anybody wants uh, to get in touch with me, they can go to anthonyggriggs.com. www.anthonyggriggs.com.
Let me,
I'd love to hear from you.
there it is. AnthonyGgriggs.com. Anthony, God bless you, my man. You
All right, my man.
give your
We're
family
good.
my love, and I'll talk to you soon.
All right, George.
All
You
right.
take care.
Thank
All
you.
right. Bye bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, wow. What a night. What a delightful night. I trust that you had just as much fun as I did. Uh, the man, the man is energized, and he will have an effect on you. Tomorrow night, we will be streaming live again. Uh, and not only that, when we download the audio from this video, in fact, we'll download the video tomorrow and we'll put it up in another location too. We'll also download the audio and we'll run it up on the radio channel. So uh, this will continue to go out and out and out and out. And when it's up on the radio, you can listen to Spotify, iHeartRadio, VIP network, which consists of about 120 stations or whatever it is. But my just a delightful night. I thank you for stopping in tonight. I hope you enjoyed yourself. I hope that I hope you fell in love with the man. I really do. I really do because he's a prince of a man and he's for real. And that makes all the difference in the world. So, ladies and gentlemen, wherever you're at, if it's nighttime, you have a great night. If it's daytime already, you have a great day. But regardless of where you are and what it is, whether you're down the street, around the corner, across America, or somewhere around this great big world, until tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. This is George Espenlaub and all the gang. And trust me, they're here. All the gang here at the Funny Farm say thank you for tuning in, and may God keep you right in the center of his hand. Good night, everybody.